The Ouija board, also known as a spirit board or talking board, is a flat board marked with letters, numbers, and words like yes, no, hello, and goodbye, along with various symbols. It uses a planchette, a small heart-shaped piece of wood or plastic, to spell out messages during a seance. Participants place their fingers on the planchette, which then moves around the board to spell out words. The name Ouija is a trademark of Hasbro, but it is often used generically to refer to any talking board. The scientific community criticizes the paranormal and supernatural beliefs associated with Ouija, labeling them as pseudoscience. The movement of the planchette is best explained by the ideomotor effect, where unconscious movements of the participants control the pointer. Many mainstream Christian denominations warn against using Ouija boards, considering them a satanic practice. Some religious groups believe they can lead to demonic possession. Occultists are divided on the issue. Some see the board as a tool for positive transformation, while others echo Christian warnings and caution inexperienced users. As a child, I grew up watching horror movies with my older sister. I always had a sense that hauntings could be real. However, it wasn't until I played with a Ouija board with that same sister that I became a true believer. At the age of 13, I conducted a seance to contact my great-grandfather. Years later, I discovered that he had died suddenly, and his father, my great-great-grandfather, had been murdered in the 1800s when he immigrated to Canada from the UK. I vividly remember the planchette moving around after we asked some forbidden questions, like, "How did you die?" My sister became frightened and urged me to stop moving it. We abruptly ended the session without properly saying goodbye. As the years passed and my sister moved out, I found myself as a deeply depressed teenager. Strange occurrences began happening in my home. Glasses would smash in the kitchen, the rocking chair would rock on its own, and I witnessed the kitchen chair being dragged across the floor and positioned as if someone were sitting in it, watching me. I often felt a chilling sensation of being watched in the basement, where the seance had taken place. Once, a book fell on my head, seemingly out of nowhere. There were other times when I was awakened by my dog barking, only to find myself alone in the house, with the bedroom door opening by itself and pushing against me as if someone were trying to enter. These experiences left me feeling terrified and convinced that there was a presence in my home, unseen but undeniably real. This all happened around 3 years ago. I was living with my grandma, grandpa, and sister. Their house was surrounded by trees with only a few neighboring houses. One of these neighbors had passed away and left their house abandoned. The former owners, a married couple I knew from childhood, always gave me the creeps. The wife, whom I'll call Molly, and her husband, whom I'll call Ricky, both passed away. One night, while sitting in the driveway playing my guitar, I felt an eerie sensation of being watched. I glanced over at their abandoned house and swear I saw a shadowy figure peeking around the back. From that moment on, I avoided going outside at night. Another strange incident occurred when I was playing Skyrim on my computer late at night and received a frantic call from my sister. She was hyperventilating and crying, unable to articulate what had happened. Fearing for her safety, I grabbed a golf club and cautiously investigated, only to find her sitting in my car in the garage. She explained that she had heard a blood-curdling scream outside, causing her to panic and seek refuge in my car. But me, I didn't hear anything. After this unsettling event, we decided to explore further by using a Ouija board. Despite the risks, we were eager to communicate with any spirits present in the house. As we used the board in the garage, we felt a heavy presence and received responses indicating that we were indeed communicating with a spirit. When we asked for the spirit's name, it spelled out R-T-D. I later discovered that this matched the initials of Ricky, the deceased neighbor. Finding his obituary confirmed our suspicions and left us both shaken. At the tender age of 10, I became obsessed with Ouija boards. Unable to afford one, I resorted to creating my own makeshift board in the secrecy of my room. Little did I know the horrors I would unleash. Months passed after my futile attempts with the homemade board. Frustration turned to fear. A strange phenomena plagued our home. Shadows slithered across the peeling wallpaper like serpents. Whispers echoed through the cracked floorboards, and objects levitated in defiance of gravity, casting long shadows in the dim light of dusk. But it was one chilling encounter that haunted my nightmares, a faceless specter, its eyes burning with malevolence, lurking in the darkness of the hallway, its presence palpable like a cold draft on a winter's night. Terrified, I sought solace in my room, but the darkness followed, seeping through the cracks like a malignant fog. My grandmother dismissed my fears as childish fantasies. By the time I turned 13, I was a mere vessel for the darkness that had taken root within me. A prisoner in my own body, I watched helplessly as it twisted my thoughts, poisoned my mind, and drove me to unspeakable acts of violence. My mother, sensing the darkness that had claimed her child, sought help from a local psychic. What she learned chilled her to the bone. My homemade Ouija board had become a gateway for an entity, one that hungered for my soul. Determined to save me from damnation, my mother embarked on a harrowing journey to reclaim my shattered spirit. Armed with ancient rituals and blessed relics, she waged a war against the darkness that threatened to consume us both. As she cleansed our home, I resisted, my mind a battleground between light and shadow, my body racked with agonizing spasms. But my mother's love was a beacon in the darkness, guiding me back from the brink of oblivion. With a final incantation and a touch of holy water, she banished the demon from my soul. I collapsed, exhausted, broken, but free from the clutches of darkness. Since that fateful day, I've embraced my newfound gift. Each haunted house, each demonic presence, I face with grim determination, knowing that I can carry within me the scars of my past. The echoes of my struggles, a constant reminder of the fragility of the human spirit. And though the shadows may still linger at the edge of my consciousness, I refuse to let them consume me.